What's up, what's up, my friends? Welcome. Get ready. Grab a snack and a bevy. It's time for you and I to have a chit-chat. Straight up facts. Tell it like it is. Laugh till you pee your pants. Cry because you probably needed to. And I can't promise, and I'm not going to throw any F-bombs, but I can promise you'll feel a lot better after listening. It's time to get personal, one-on-one, down and dirty, and have a coffee talk. Buckle up. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday, friends. Welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk. That was really loud, so I'm going to turn this down a little bit. My headphones were like, woo, you're really loud. Oh my gosh, friends. Today is August 3rd. Why is that exciting? Because not only is it a coffee talk, it's also the day my friend Michelle is getting married. Yay, Michelle. She listens. I hope she's not listening today because she should be getting ready. But I'm super excited. We're going tonight, Mr. Sith and I, to the wedding. And this is both of their second wedding. Second time's the charm. They're like perfect for each other. That's the way it's going to be. So my friends, we're going to talk about some shit today. Okay. Let's see. All right. So I had to pause and I totally forgot where the hell I was. So we're going to tell you. So I'm going to run down the story that happened with Buster. As you guys can tell, I am in a huge lupus flare. This happened after Niagara, right? Yeah, it's still going on. It's still going on. I don't know what's going on, but I can't stand it. I'm in a huge flare, and thank God I bought flats, like ballet flats. So I'm sure my legs will hurt, but you won't be able to see. I have a long dress that goes all the way to the floor. And so it will not, it'll cover up my cankles and you won't be able to tell how fucking bloated they are and all that shit. So I'm drinking coffee and I'm chit-chatting with you guys. I have to talk to you guys about Buster. So this has been like the big drama for Buster. So you guys know from the last coffee talk what happened. Buster got covered in burrs and then he got sick because he was trying to pull him off, but he was puking. So he smelled like puke. Yay. Nothing like a big hairy dog that smells like puke. So I actually reached into my local Newfoundland Club chapter group, right? We belong to the North Central Newfoundland Club. And we also are in a Facebook group called, I believe it's the Chicagoland Newfoundland group or something, like that. I don't really know. But, I went into the groups to see if I can just search out, cause why post it? Please don't post shit in groups without using or utilizing the search function. It just people probably already asked the question 30 times, most likely. So just look it up and see what everybody else said. So I looked up groomers. That's all I did. Right. So, cause I know I posted about it and I went through 5 of the 7 people because the other 2 weren't in my area. So I went and I looked up other stuff and then a new one popped up. Now I'm not going to call her out on here. I'm going to be nice, but I will tell you that I've taken him to other places and this has not happened. But the trouble I'm having with groomers is that they're not really understanding a Newfoundland big double coat. They tend to be geared towards the smallow dogs, the doodle crowd. They're not really, I have not found anyone who has been able to understand a double coat. Just because there's knots and stuff. So they're always shedding this downy undercoat. They're swimmers from Newfoundland, Canada. And those Atlantic waters are cold. And so they need that hair and those double coats to slick off water while they're in rescue, or working. And also to that undercoat to keep their skin dry. I'm telling you right now, if I had $1 every time that the 7 breeders that I've used or groomers I've used thus far have told me that they can't do undercoats like that. You just shave them. I would have $7. I use $7. I have $7. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I sit at home with this little tool and I just work them out. Except now I'm taking him to be groomed. So I want him to be completely line combed, it's called, and bathed, line combed, blow it all out, line comb again. You brush through with the brush. You're good to go, right? You trim like a Newfoundland's supposed to be trimmed. That was another thing. I didn't realize until literally this week how a Newfoundland is supposed to be cut show-wise. Now, I'm not showing Buster, okay? But it's interesting to me that no one was cutting him in that capacity. And then I also learned some interesting Newfoundland anatomy. So we'll get to that. So then I take him to this lady, and she made an appointment quickly. She owns and breeds Newfoundlands. I could tell you right now, without a shadow of a doubt, she is a backyard breeder. There's no effing way this woman breeds like legitimate, healthy Newfoundlands. Okay. So we go in, and I went with Peter, so I have proof that it's not just my OCD talking. But I just want you to keep in mind that I do have OCD, so you can only imagine what actually was happening in real life. I'm going to like literally even keel it out because I was horrified inside of me. I had so much anxiety. I thought I was going to die, like that I was going to burst. I'm like, you know what? My head's just going to pop in here. Like, just going to pop. What the hell is going on? And so I've decided that I'm going to be obviously lead with kindness and do things that are nice. However, I have found that really gets on my nerves when it comes to doing stuff like this, because old Denise would have been like, yeah, fuck no, I'm out of here. Like, but I wanted to give her a chance, and it backfired. It backfired big time on me. So we bring them. She opens her business. She was late, by the way. I made an appointment at noon, and she showed up at 12:10. I don't like lateness. I have an issue with that. And if you have a business, I'm guessing that you probably should come fucking early if you have an appointment to have everything ready. Needless to say, she did not. So we walk in, and so a lot of grooming places, she also does training, right? So not a big deal. I see that there's like big machines. So she talked all about using this Australian like shampooing system and these machines that were made for grooming. Okay. So they get up into the tub and the door shuts, and it has one hose that automatically dispense based on a dial these specialty shampoos and de-sheds. And they even have a tick flea one. And I didn't need that, and you just turn the dial as you go, and it's timed, and you put money in it. And obviously she's the owner, so she doesn't input money. She's got it on the, use for free mode. But it looks like it's pretty expensive, right? So it was like $50 for the first 30 minutes. And then I think it was $25 for every 30 minutes after that, I think. Anyway, in the time it would normally take me to do Buster in a bathtub, I think it would probably be about the same amount of time. So like from start to finish with Buster and, bath, because I pre-blow him. So you have to blow him out first. And I have a special air blow dryer for that blows cool air as well. So they're not overheated because they're big ass dogs. And so I blow him, and then we brush him, and then he gets bathed, and then he gets conditioned, and then he gets dried, right? You kind of you can't blow dry them like super wet because then they get more naughty. Then we take them outside, and then we have to dry them again while we're brushing. And then you do the grooming part, right? You got to trim his feet. You got to trim what they call a sanitation trim around the bits. For ladies, and for the boys, they get trimmed around their bits. And then just so it's clean when they go potty. And then for the first time, just recently, I learned how to properly groom his ears and his face, which I just left because I didn't know what to do, and nobody else has ever done it. I've asked for Newfie grooms, and I got nothing. Nothing like the information I got this week. So I'm watching her bathe them, and she's got her dogs there as well. She's got 2 newfies, smaller, like females. They were kind of like Landseers, but gray and black, which I've never seen before, but that doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? But let's just put it this way. They weren't like, you know, they didn't look like pure Newfoundlands. I could tell you that. I mean, I'm sure they are, but backyard breeder. So I'm going there. I'm not naming the name so I can say it. Okay. But I'm not going to dox her or anything like that. I don't really give a shit. I'm just not going to go there anymore. But, she had Buster in the bathtub and decided that she was going to bring, you know, in the machine, and he had the clip around, you know, they put the little grooming collar that clips up to the machine so they don't like scootle all around. And he's pretty good with a bath anyway. So she then says she's going to let her dogs in from outside. I mean, it's hot outside. Why were they out all this time anyway? I'm like, really? Like, wow, yeah, bring your dogs in. It's fucking hot outside, lady. You'd be having them in a car. So she lets them in. They have no collars, and they're both females. She knows he's intact. She's asked. And one of them runs up. I'm not even joking. Runs up. I'm in full panic because, as I've mentioned before, we're working with Buster because he's reactive. And I told her I told her that he was reactive, and her dog just runs up to him, and I could tell he's totally cool. And I'm like, oh, awesome. He's being a good boy. But then I see her dog's body change, like her body language is changing, the dog. And she starts to, you know, like he does. And then he was like, are you tripping right now, lady? And so he starts barking, but I could tell it's an aggressive bark. And he's like, I don't really like how you're behaving. Get away from me. So she wasn't moving. So I grabbed her dog or like around the chest to like pull her down from the bathtub. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, girl. Like, it's all right. Cause apparently she's in heat and she doesn't like any like male dogs right now. Then why did you bring them to your grooming place where you knew there was going to be I'm so shocked. Like I got nothing. People. I'm at a fucking loss. So she's bathing him, but while she's bathing him, all while this is happening, I am taking an inventory of my surroundings, and I am fucking horrified. I'm like, Peter, stop touching that. Like, don't lean on that. Just stand here. I felt horrible. I'm like, can you just sit on that folding chair? Like, cause there was a part that had like, an open area where apparently they do training. And I'm like, who the fuck would do training here? At first off, it was fucking filthy. And I'm saying, yeah, it's a grooming place, but you know what? At the end of the day, you're supposed to clean shit. There were dirty towels laying around, dirty smocks. The floors were filthy in the entire place, not just the area where it's done. But I mean, you should be able to hose that shit down, like, and vacuum. I don't understand. There were storage things everywhere. So it was like, is this a business? Or is it just a storefront that you put stuff in? That's what it felt like. Then there was an area in the middle of the entire store area, but outside the little fence where they had like the machines for the baths. And the fencing that she had to separate the two is your standard like picket fence, like dog grooming, kennel stuff, right? It's, if you've ever seen them, they're pretty like standard, except hers were all broken and falling over with exposed nails. I'm not even kidding. I would have took pictures, but I was too busy trying to watch Peter to make sure he was safe, and at the same time watch Buster. I was supposed to leave him there and I couldn't leave. I'm like, there's no way I can leave. Then now I feel stuck. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. This is how people feel that can't say no. I don't want to be this person, but you live and you learn, right? So she's bathing him or doing whatever. So like, I'm super preoccupied. My intense ADHD is going off, like looking at all the shit all over, and then OCD, how it needs to be organized. She has in the center of the place, this like little tiny, like puppy fence that is around basically tiles and flooring that is coming up. And my son had asked about it, and she was like, oh, I used to have a pool there and it leaked. So it came up, last year. And I'm like, last year? Like, wait, you have a business that had something wrong with it in the last year and you didn't fix it? Like, you don't have insurance? Now I'm really concerned, right? Because risk management background, I cannot have fun anywhere, people. You cannot have a good time anywhere if you were in risk management. And if you have friends there in risk management, this is why they're fucking not friendly or exciting to be with when they go out and do adventurous shit. And why they're not doing adventurous shit. Because they've seen the fucking files. That's why. Okay? That's why. Just telling you. Right? Things you should know. So she's bathing him, but I'm also like walking and telling Peter to like not move and like pretending to read my book on my phone. And I'm like, holy crap. It wasn't even an area that you would want to sit in to be comfortable. I felt like I was in a fucking garage, except it was a storefront. She kept the front door propped open. Her dogs were then locked up basically behind this curtain where she had another just portable fence. And every time you walked near them, even to like kind of be like, oh, cute dogs, which is what Peter was doing, they would start barking and shit. It was too much. I was just like, Newfies just aren't like that. I don't know. None of the ones I know are. So I was like, I'm just not okay. Like, I felt like her dogs were super aggressive than to be in a place of business, but not have collars on or be locked up in a place because they could have easily gotten through that fence. And so now also sporadically around, so the walls are half painted, right? They're like somebody took a roller and just rolled like the center, but not all of them. And then there's like paint cans everywhere. But there's also like merchandise that she wants to sell. So there's like dog food and like dog stuff that you would buy. And I'm like, but it's all just like thrown around. And I'm like, why would is this a store or not? Because there were also little plastic tables. So they were like, what am I thinking about? So, like a plastic portable table. Okay. Except for some reason they were lower and they had this like, I don't even know, like this, I'm at a loss for words. Like this, I still can't even believe this shit happened, guys. It was like filled with construction things, nails, saws, hammers, just devices, cans of stuff. But it was literally like all over the place. And one of them was right next to the bathing machine, like the shampoo machine that she had Buster in. And I thought to myself, what if he got out of that and fought with her dog right next to that table of all these exposed sharp edges and nails? It could have been a disaster. So next thing I know, she's got a hose and she's blowing them in there, right? And I don't know. I just want to get the fuck out of here at this point, right? So she's blow drying them, whatever, okay. And I'm doing some stuff with Pete, and we walked outside for a little bit, and we come out, and he's out of the tub, and he's still crimped. So when, I'm sure other dogs are this way, but I can only speak about Newfoundlands because that's what I've got. But when Buster is wet or he's gotten wet, their outer hair gets crimped, like you used a crimping iron. I don't know. I'm sure it's got something to do with the oils and all that stuff in their hair and whatnot. But, so I clearly see he's not done, but she's like, and I just want to get the fuck out of here. Right. But she's like, oh, I'm going to take him for a walk to go potty. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like break time. I'm totally cool with that because now she's going to come back. She's going to dry him like outside on a table somewhere she's going to set up. Right. Cause there are no tables. I'm like, okay. And she's going to start like blowing them and line combing them and all of that. Oh, okay. Totally cool. I thought worst comes to worst. Peter and I could walk over. There was like some place for lunch, like down in the strip mall. We'll just do that. Nope. She takes him for a walk to go potty, brings him back, and hands him to me. Thanks. Oh, he's going to smell great for 3 weeks. You're going to love it. Tomorrow, he may have a little hair come out because of the de-shed. And I'm like, wait, what? So now I just want to get out of there. She charged me $100. I'm not even joking. Normally, a groom for Buster costs between, depending on where you go. So, and mind you, these were all shitty groomers or groomers that were unable. They weren't all shitty, but some of them were incapable of understanding how to take care of Buster's breed. So it varied between $78 and $150. This woman just gave him a bath, essentially. She didn't brush him, and then she blew him and caused probably more mats for $100. Now, I chucked it up to when we figured out what the machine would have cost had I sent Mr. Sith somewhere and used that machine. It would have been the same amount. Okay? But I specifically spoke to her for more than 15 minutes, might I add, 2 days prior, that my main thing is that I was in a lupus flare and I needed him line combed and groomed, okay, on top of the bath. And it was not an issue for her. So the fact that I got a bath for $100, which essentially if Mr. Sith didn't work, I could have forced him to do that upstairs after work. I can't do it right now. I'm in a lupus flare. It is very difficult for me to do this. That's why I am paying professionals for their services. I'm like at a loss now. So I have him in my car. Now he smells like wet fucking perfume, which I hate when they overly perfume. I don't like overly perfumed soaps for dogs because they're like overly perfumed soaps for people. They fucking smell. Okay. It makes my eyes water, my nose itch. I can't stand it. I don't want my dog to be like, smell like fucking perfume. I want him to be clean and groomed. There's the difference. And I'm like, okay, am I asking too much? Am I being fucking difficult right now? Help me, friends. Okay. I just want my newfie groomed properly. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Maybe I have to plan every 45, 50 days to just go into a full out fucking lupus flare, but do this shit myself. Like I'm going to put a bathing suit on and I'm going to get into the damn tub. I got a big ass fucking corner tub in my bathroom and I'm just going to just groom the fuck. I'm going to bathe him. I will sit on the floor and just soap his little ass up. I will get it all done, rinse him. I got all this shit in there for that. And then I will take him out, put him his little drying jacket on. I'll buy him and then take him outside. And I'm like, well, how am I going to do that in the winter? Well, in the winter, I'm literally going to pull I'm not even joking, guys. I'm going to pull my car out of the garage and I'm going to open the door and I'm going to blow him out there. I'm just going to blow it out the damn garage, period. Because it's an awesome blower that I got for him. So I'm like, this is crazy. Is this what I got to do? I'm at a total loss. I get home and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll blow him with my flying pig. That's the name of my dryer. So I take him outside. It's hot, right? So it's hot for him. It's like 85, 90 degrees. It's hot for me. Plus I'm in a lupus flare. Plus I have sun sensitivity with lupus. So now I'm dying, right? So I'm trying to blow him. But as I'm blowing him, I'm feeling all of the knots in his downy coat, like his undercoat. Oh, I'm like, you know what? I'm just at a loss. Like I cried. I'm like, I can't. How am I going to get all this out? That was the whole point. He's worse now, except that he doesn't smell like puke. This is horrible. And mind you, over time, I find that neglectful. To me, like I feel neglectful as an owner. I think everybody should feel this way. I hate when like your dog looks like it's like fucking got mange because you couldn't brush your dog. Bring them somewhere to get brushed. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm willing to pay all the money, people, and I can't find a fucking person to groom this dog. It's hilarious at this point. So I'm at a loss, right? So I call my sponsor at the North Central Newfoundland Club. Okay, so you need a sponsor to get in and all that kind of stuff, right? So she's also the lady who makes Buster's bibs, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm calling. Her name's Liz. I love her. Okay. She does water rescue, karting with her dogs. She's like fucking living her best life with these dogs. Okay. So are her dogs. I love her. Okay. She's always been so helpful and informative to me with breed and all that. I call Liz. I'm like basically crying by the end of the fucking message. I'm leaving her voice messages because I need her to hear like the urgency in my voice and the defeat basically at this point. So she gets back to me and she's like, oh my God, my heart is like broken for you. Like I can feel your desperation and I'm upset for you. That's like not okay. She's like, especially since you had a conversation with this woman about what you actually needed. Because I know I do a lot of things, people, but one thing I don't do, which I don't feel I do, is I don't feel I am an ineffective communicator. I pretty much tell people what the fuck I want and I expect it in return. And when it doesn't happen, I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Sorry, not sorry. You know, it's fucking Saturday, people. I said stupid. These people are fucking stupid because I am an effective communicator. When I tell you I need my fucking dog line combed to get the fucking knots out of him, I want him line combed and I want the knots out of him. Duh. I mean, fuck, is this like new? Nobody wants to work anymore. What the fuck is wrong with this world? Anyway, and let me talk. We're going to talk about the world in a little bit. I got to get through the story though. Holy shit, we're 25 minutes in. All right, listen, okay? So Liz, my sponsor, calls me back and she says, I am going to, I don't know, she went to like a water thing or something. She goes, and I'm going to talk to like everybody and we're going to get this resolved. Like I am going to find somebody, hell or high water, to help you. Cause I'm like, dude, I have lupus. I'm dying right now. I'm asking for all the help, which I never do. You guys know I struggle with that. Okay. So I'm like, I'm asking for the help. I don't understand why this is so fucking hard. So I should open a fucking Newfie and learn how to do the shit myself. Anyway, I don't need to because I already know how to do it. And I'm not saying that, but I learned a ton of shit this week. You wait. So I'm like, holy crap, like, let's do this. So she gets back to me within 24 hours, friends. Okay. 24 hours, Liz gets back to me. She gives me the name of this woman and she said, I need you to reach out to her. I think she can help you. If she cannot, then I need you to contact me and I'll find somebody else. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman is a solution person for sure, right? I love you. That's why you're my sponsor. So then I call this lady, her name's Becky, and I'm like, where are you located? So I'm like, wow, is she local? And she goes, oh, I'm in Wisconsin. Here's me immediately. Fuck. But she's an hour and a half away. Okay. And I've driven an hour to grooming. So I'm like, whatever. Then the conversation takes a complete turn. Okay. She wants to come to me. She wants to be a mobile groomer. Okay. She is in the NCNC club. She knows Liz because they do water work together. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. I've got the good vibes happening, right? I'm like, oh, I didn't feel weird at all. Although I will say when I did talk to the other woman on the phone, the crappy, like ugly place thing lady, I had weird reservations about talking to her on the phone. I didn't like the vibe from her. So listen to your vibes, peep. Listen to your vibes. So I have really good vibes on this lady. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you serious? She's like, I will help you. So what do you need? Like I have portable tub. I have portable grooming table. I do everything. Just let me know. So she says, I'm going to be a full disclosure to you is that I did go to grooming school. However, it was during COVID. And so the school pulled out on like my entire class stating that they weren't going to give us any like shop grooming experience and something else. They didn't get something else, but it was like their grooming kit or something. So I have no in grooming. I just do my own dogs and she owns Newfies, obviously, and they do water work, which means they need tons of work because they do water work and it does a number on their fur. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't care. Like, wait, if you do your own Newfies, I don't really care. Her Newfies look nice online. So it's like, okay. So she drove an hour and a half down here. She was fantastic. We chit-chatted. She's a chatter like I am. So Yeah, it probably went a little longer than needed. I told her next time I would shut up, and she was like, me too. But we like got together. We're both sisters in God, so that was pretty cool. She's like, oh my gosh, like you're like the first person in NCNC who's like really like God, like, you know, spiritual. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Except for one other lady. And I was like, that's awesome. And so she was so good with Buster. I can't even tell you. And not only did she do it, but she educated me while she did it. Because we were in my house. I mean, we were in my den. So I was like, hey, that's a cool tool. Like, what does that do? And she's like, this will get the little knot. And I'm like, what? So I'm like writing all the things down so I can buy shit to do on the off time, right? But she went through and like I said, she didn't do a full groom. She didn't do a bathe. He was already bathed a week ago, right? So she came on Thursday. So it had been a full week since he had gotten the quote unquote shitty groom. Okay. And then, but he wasn't groomed at all. He was just bathed. And then plus I found out that August is the time that newfies shed their summer coat to get ready for September. So he's also double shedding, if that's even possible. I don't even know how to say that. So he's kind of double shedding. Plus he had knots from undercoat impactment from getting the bath, but not getting brushed, that kind of shit. So he had needed a lot of work and I had gotten them out throughout the week, a lot of them, but he still had some around like his neck. He had them all over his butt because they're like any dog. He doesn't like anybody like grooming the back of him. So, but he sat so nice for her on that table. I posted pictures, last week of it. He did so good. Oh, I did him yesterday. I posted pics on my Facebook page yesterday, and I think they go to Insta too. I'm not sure. But I thought, how cute is that? Like she was so good with him. She got on the floor with him. She's like, I groom my dogs this way. You know, she rescues also newfies, so they come with anxiety and stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, she got on the floor with him. She showed me how to groom his ears, like the Newfoundland cut, because she was like, he has a really small head. And I'm like, really? I think it's massive. She goes, well, for a Newfie, he's got a small head. But she goes, but Landseers are usually smaller anyway. She's like, he's got a lot of skin, so he's got a lot of growing to do. And I'm like, oh, wow, he's got a lot of growing to do. So then she was saying that sometimes adolescents can go from not just to 2 years old. It could go from 2 to 3 years old. And it looks like he's a late bloomer. So that probably from 2 to 3, he's going to start like expanding and getting wider and stuff. And I'm like, okay, like great. But he was a really good boy. I was so proud of him. And so it's not as bad as I thought it was. That it was, and his reactivity training really came into play. So he was doing really good with that. Jumpy when people come in and all that garbage. So, she was like, I really felt good with all the compliments she gave me on him. And I'm like, thank you. Just don't tell me that though, because we're really working hard with his behaviors. And she's like, no, I wouldn't say it if I didn't think so. So to think that she didn't give him a bath and she only did some things that I had, that I needed and not like the full bath and groom. It was spectacular. She showed me how to cut his face. Cause I said, can you show me like a newfie cut is, like a show cut? And so, she trimmed up his paws for me, but she said like, so they're little, I thought it was something weird, but apparently he has all puppy fur except for his back still. So it will change still. And I'm like, that's cool. But the little hair that comes off the back of his leg in the front, those are called feathers. Duh, right? They look like feathers. And then his back legs are like short hair. Well, for him, right? But then all of a sudden, like the back part of his thigh and his butt are all like big, thick fur. And those are called the pants, which I think is freaking adorable. Newfie pants. And how to trim the tail. And she's like, he doesn't need that right now or none of that. But she did show me how to cut his face like they would cut his face. And she's like, I'll do that. But she cut his ears the way they would cut them in show, and then trimmed out his little, I forget what she called him, but like right like behind his cheeks and under his ears was like all fluffy, crazy. And so she trimmed that, and then she goes, oh, well, his head actually looks really big now that it's cut, right? And I was like, there you go. I thought he had a big noggin. And she goes, oh yeah. But so he looks fabulous. So I don't know if she'll listen to this. I told her that Saturday was my cussing one. But if Becky is listening, Becky, I think you're absolutely amazing. And you guys, I'm telling you, she is starting. I told her she needs to just get up and do this, because I think this is a wonderful service to provide to people. And her spirit, and she has such a warmth with animals. With my dog, she did amazingly. I highly recommend her as a groomer. And so I don't know if I'm saying her last name right, but it's Becky Liebel. Liebl, Becky with an I. And so I'm going to have her come down here every 45 days to my area in McHenry County, Illinois. That's just a general area. If you're in Lake County or probably Kane County, you can get in on this. But I'm trying to see if we can schedule like either like full days where anybody who has a dog that needs to be groomed, it doesn't have to be a newfie. You can have somebody come to your house and actually bathe and groom your dog. And she is super uber affordable. I paid her more. I gave her a little extra tip, and I will continue to pay her that amount every time she comes, because she was absolutely spectacular. So reach out to me on social media or message me if that's something that you want to do. Let's jump into, that's the whole Buster episode. So there you go. That took 35 minutes to actually do. So this one's going to go a little bit longer since we didn't. So a lot of people were like, you didn't do a Wednesday's episode. I didn't, because I did a bonus and I didn't want to, and I'm flaring. So I was like, I'll just make it next week. It'd be fine. But, oh my gosh. So I want to talk about the Olympics. Now, it's going to be a sensitive subject. So if you are easily triggered by just talking about, politics and all the weird shit that's going on in our world today, probably now's the time to peace out, peeps. Lead with kindness. Talk to you later. Okay? But if you have a backbone and you want to talk like legitimately about shit, we're going to keep going here. So, Paris Olympic ceremonies. Underwhelmed. Gonna be honest with you. I don't normally watch all the Olympics, especially the summer, because obviously I'm a hockey person. Winter. But Summer Olympics opening game in Paris, I'm a little fucking underwhelmed. First off, I was a little disappointed that Paris itself, or the Olympic Committee, or whoever the fuck does it, okay, I don't know, and I don't care, didn't really plan for an outdoor event that you could have fucking rain. That really fucking grinded my gears, okay? And let me tell you why. Because it was very choppy. I felt like whoever the creative director or the people involved in this, I'm not saying it was all bad. It was just real choppy. Like the artistic vision on paper didn't really fully translate to TV. Does that make sense? Like, I'm still trying to figure out who the fuck was the guy running around who had like the ghost Spider-Man hood but was dressed like Napoleon with a screen over his face. Who the fuck was this person? It was like doing parkour on the fucking rooftops and shit. Who was this person? Who was he supposed to be? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Okay? The minion thing? Cute. Peter liked it. Totally fucking irrelevant to the... I'm like, why are fucking minions in France? Are they popular in France? I would have loved a little like thing on the TV from any fucking network to just be like explaining the situation. I like that they highlighted a bunch of different musical stuff. And that's when they started lighting me. Because we kind of liked the metal. I know a lot of people were just like, what's with all the metal band hanging? And everyone's like, oh my God, they had the audacity to do some like weird woman with her head cut off, like talking. Hello, you don't know who that is? Like, if you were offended by that part of it, you apparently don't know fucking history. I'm like, duh, it's the fucking queen with her head cut off, and I can't think of her fucking name right now, of course. Jeez, what is wrong with my brain? Lupus, that's what's wrong with it. But I was like, why? That I don't care about. So I'm not a fan of the androgynous makeup shit. And I'm going to just prove a point here because I'm a huge fucking David Bowie fan. Huge Bowie fan. I watched everything he was in. I had every album. Let me tell you the album I have a problem with. Stardust. Okay. Because that's a little fucking out there. And that whole androgynous, what was it, 70s? Yeah, I'm not really into that. Okay. But he was into it. It was super cool. It was an amazing album. That's cool. So in general, I don't necessarily not like androgynous overall. Okay. So it's not just this generation, this time. No, it gets weird. Okay. And so the opening games are for everybody to see, including children. You know where I'm going with this. And if you don't, you need to watch the opening games. Or just save yourself and just Google shit and just see the bits and the pieces. But I know that some of you are going to be like, oh, I know where you're going here. But I bet you don't. I bet you don't. I didn't like I loved the library thing with all of the literature. And I really dug that part of it. Okay, before we continue talking about the library here, I literally just had to pause the whole podcast here while I was talking to you guys because I just killed a fly on my window. I cannot stand a fly, and I swear to God, no matter what restaurant I'm in, and it happened in Canada too, so it's just like a worldwide thing right now, I guess. Flies are always everywhere, and I hate that they're in restaurants now. It's really bothering me. Like, it's not okay. All right, so back to the Olympics. So they're in the library, and I love that they were focusing on literature, and I love that part. But then it got weird, right? It got a little, when it gears towards suggestive, innotations. Is that the word? I don't fucking know. I just made it up. When they start getting suggestive, but inappropriately suggestive, to me, like, do that shit on a nighttime show. Don't do it in like where kids are watching it. And I don't care what kids in France do or what kids in Rome do or what kids in Greece do. Italy. I meant Italy, not Rome. I just have friends in Rome. And I've had conversations with people abroad. So sit the fuck down, Linda and Karen, if you think that this is about, Americans are so uptight and you guys have weird stuff. No, that's not it at all. Because I've talked to friends globally and we've all come to the conclusion that there were suggestions that didn't need the suggestive push during opening ceremonies. Simple as that. I mean, I'm not a fucking prude, but I also don't like bullshit while my kid's watching TV, right? I mean, we can't even do the fucking Olympics now. Come on, stop it. So needless to say, it starts, they're all fucking looking at each other and falling in love. And you don't know if they're boys or girls, of course, because everybody just loves pushing that agenda. And then they all start like into this party dance mode and are walking up into an apartment. My funniest thing commentating was basically, what's her name? Kelly Clarkson, who is just probably not even knowing she's on microphone going, oh. And I'm thinking, yeah, Kelly, where are they going with this shit while my kid's watching with me? And they suggestively all go up into this apartment. And then they're like, like, come in. We're going to have a big orgy. Come on. And then they shut the door. And I'm like, well, that was fucking dumb. Why did we even need that? To me, it's like when you're watching a really good suspense, romance, thriller, fucking add whatever you want, comedy, and then they fuck it up with this highly sexual boobs penetration sex scene. Not fucking necessary. Not fucking necessary. It's unnecessary to the storyline, to the plot. You could definitely do a suggestion in there where they both, somebody walks out of the bedroom in like, a long t-shirt and he's making her eggs. There's a suggestion. I didn't need to waste 15 minutes of my fucking movie time here. That's literally when I go to the bathroom and make popcorn. I'm like, fuck you people, ruining a goddamn movie. And I'm not a prude. I like sex. I just don't like to fucking see it in the middle of a movie where aliens are invading and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's unnecessary. So the fact that they suggested that, in the middle of a thing. And I hear about how France is all loosey-goosey and they do all that. I talk to French friends too. Because France isn't all about Paris, people, just like Illinois isn't all about Chicago. Illinois is a big fucking state. Chicago has a lot of people. Our whole state doesn't agree with what Chicago votes in. But we all have to abide by it because that's where the numbers are. I feel that's the same way in France from what I've talked to. I talk to people in the south of France. I talk to people in the north of France. And both of them agree with me. That was a little stupid. Now, this whole, I know everybody went in, there's like all these fucking memes about the Last Supper, and then like all these transvestites and blue fucking people walking around with beards dressed in fucking high heels and shit. Again, nighttime viewing, kids don't need to see that shit. That's my opinion. Your opinion may be different, and you love the Olympics. You know what? I applaud you. Good for you. Good for you. Okay? That's all I got to say about that. Now, I don't think that, I mean, yeah, it looks like the Last Supper, but in all honesty, this is, again, I think Americans running with shit because I believe the ultra-conservative people here are just as fucking crazy as the left. I said it, and I don't care because it's my podcast. However, it does have full suggestive notes from Greek story and lore. And to me, you're still mocking something. It's just like, why are you mocking Greek lore? It doesn't matter if it was Christian or if it was Greek. But I will tell you this hands down, people, that they would never mock the Jews like that. And they would never mock the Muslims like that. Because there would be a fucking war. Yeah, there is actually on one of them. There's that. But they always like to poke with Christians. But that wasn't the case in this. They were poking the Greeks. And I get, yeah, everyone's like, it's a flashback because the Greeks were the first Olympics. And okay, but don't you think it could have been tastefully done? Or did they have to be a big, fat, naked man dressed in blue with a yellow beard? It couldn't be like, I don't know, a huge, like, hulking, fit man who's like handsome and, you know, Socrates, good beard. I don't know if don't all millennials do like beards and shit? Was it millennials that brought the beards back? I don't fucking know. But like, you couldn't find any like handsome, hulking, like, you couldn't like hit nobody's that good looking in France. We had to find some big fat guy. And then use a bunch of fat people. I'm just saying, I'm fat. But you had nothing but a bunch of transvestites available for that. Nobody. You're Paris, the center of fucking fashion, and you had no models available. I will tell you, they recouped themselves, and I almost cried during it, I'm not going to lie. But if you have not watched the documentary on Netflix about Celine Dion and her, is it PSP? I think it's called PSP. Some sort of shaken person. I don't know. So she has this rare neurological autoimmune disease that has hit her, which is why she's had to leave her Vegas show. And she has been undergoing serious medical treatment and therapies. And it was so sad in the documentary to see how she has, she's been singing for so long, that she had defined herself as having the voice. She is nobody without her voice. And it kind of made me sad that she felt that way, because you could clearly see that she felt very defined by her voice. And she loves her fans. So if you're a Celine Dion fan, like, I don't dislike her, but I'm not like a fan. I don't go to all her shows, you know, that kind of fandom. And so, boy, she sure loves her fans. And I don't want to hear, I was really glad they didn't focus too much on her relationship with her husband, because personally, in my opinion, that is a total grooming situation. And I mean, I'm sure she authentically loved him, but they met when she was like 12 years old or some shit. And that was a grooming situation by him, period. That's the end of that story. Boom. But she sang Edith Piaf, which is a huge notorious French singer who I love. I love things French. But I think she out Edith. That's how good it was. And you could see at the end of that performance that the pianist that played the song with her, that it was a piano, and her like literally was just looking at her and clapping like, you did it, girl. You did it. Because she does not have the voice capacity. It's there, but her disease causes her muscles to contract and cause neurological pain, which then in turn does not allow her lung capacity to expand to sing the way she did. So she's been doing tons and tons of therapy and voice work and all of these. I mean, she's doing all the things. Okay. When you got the money, you can do that. Bless her heart, right? She has an amazing voice, but she fucking nailed that performance. Apparently there was like some French singer that did pop work. She was okay. She wore like all gold. It was okay. I mean, you can't understand what they were saying. I also didn't like that they had no like subcaptions or offered subcaptions for other countries. I tried and we just got them in French. And then, what else? I'm trying to think what else went on that was like, we turned it off. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't like that they didn't light a torch. They lit a fucking balloon. What was that? I think the best part of all of these Olympics, in all honesty, has been the new United States of America mascot, Snoop Dogg. Am I alone? Am I fucking alone, people? First off, if you did not see the mock Olympic thing with Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg, Google it, watch it on a video, where they're doing dressage in the Olympics, the last Olympics, Summer Olympics. And him and Kevin Hart were asked to kind of look at dressage. And Snoop Dogg is like, I mean, say what you will about Snoop. He has lived an amazing life and he has grown into the person he is today, who authentically enjoys fucking life. He is you look at him and you see joy. And let me tell you, there's nothing that America needs better right now than the world to see us through Snoop Dogg's joy. It's crazy. If you would have told me in my 20s that in, 2024, the Summer Olympics, Snoop Dogg was going to be representing America as like one of our journalists, I would have laughed in your face and been like, never going to happen. What's he going to do? Crip walk with the torch? But he did. And it was awesome. They asked him to crip walk with the torch. I almost died. I was like, are you kidding me right now? And so a lot of you may or may not know this. So the elite athletes make little pins and they trade them with each other. And so Snoop Dogg made his own pins. He also made his own wardrobe, by the way. NBC did not provide any of that shit. All of his cool wardrobe and his pins were provided by him, which I think is fucking awesome. But let me tell you, he is a mascot. He is cheering everybody on. He's up all night, going to all the different events, living his best life, bless his heart. And him and Martha are going to do the equestrian events again. So I don't know when that started. I just kind of just watch him on replay on my TV because I've got the Olympics thing on there. So you just go to that. I'm sure Netflix has it. I think mine's on Paramount. I'm not really sure. I don't fucking know because I don't have TV or cable. I just stream everything. It may be Fubo too. Fubo. I don't know. Not to be confused with Fubu. It's I think it's Paramount. Whatever. Figure it out. It's your TV. You should already know that. You should be watching the Olympics. I don't like this whole boycott the Olympics. That's where I was going. I'm going to wrap it up now. I don't like this whole boycott the Olympics because everybody was going to be offended by this and that. I just turned them off, but I'm certainly going to support the actual athletes because they spend their lives with this. And Simone Biles is fucking killing it right now in gymnastics. If you guys have not seen the Netflix Simone Biles documentary, watch that. Because I know a lot of people are like, she was such a quitter. Everybody loves her this year, but she was a quitter. You know what? Fuck you people. She quit for her fucking mental health and for her life. Because physically, you can't be like, she had what they called were called the twisties, so which I did not know. But apparently in the gymnastics world, there's something called the twisties. And it's when you're competing, when your mind is not connected to your body. And so your body's doing shit, but your mind is not controlling it. And I'm sorry. Have you anybody seen some of the superhuman shit that she does? It's insane. I sure as fuck want my mind connected to my body while I'm doing that shit. Or you could cripple yourself. She could be paraplegic. So she made a personal choice to step the fuck out during the last Olympics and train and get past all of her mental block that she had. Did all this therapy and trained and did all that. And also, I might add, if you've not seen another documentary about that doctor, the Olympic doctor who violated and molested all of the young girls in sports, especially gymnastics. She was one of those girls. So she had a lot of shit to work through. So I applaud her killing it. Her and Sha'Carri Richardson. Our girls running, they're fucking killing it too. When you watch, if you can just watch the 4x100 women's race with TT and Sha'Carri Williams, Richardson, and I forget the other two girls. But let me tell you, these girls run so fast, their legs look blurry on fucking TV. That's insane to me. Okay. It's insane. And and we killed Jamaica on a couple things that Jamaica thought they had. Those are like the huge, that's their competition. So the huge rivalry between the USA and Jamaica, man. But yeah, they killed them in races they thought they had. And Richardson takes that 4x100 and she wipes them, man. Let's just put it that way. She fucking wipes them. It's amazing. What else is going on? That's pretty much it. I'm sure I have other shit to talk about, but I'm going to get ready for a wedding and enjoy the happy union of another two people. I want everybody to say a prayer tonight and just give some good juju and prayers to Michelle and Randy in their new union of marriage. I will talk to you guys later. As always, lead with kindness. Bye.